Relationships between quantitative and categorical variables are tutorial. With the help of the categorical variables introduced last week, Jeff explored a new concept today. How do we describe the relationship between the quantitative variables we were familiar with and the new categorical variables we learned? Let's take a look at a graphical measure for exploring these types of relationships, namely the side-by-side box plot. In the life expectancy dataset, let's first rename the columns with the command callNames and attach the dataset so that we have access to the variable names. Our main purpose will be to compare a quantitative variable life expectancies, or life exp, amongst different levels of a categorical variable, region. If we wish to do so, we will need to somehow separate our dataset into the different regions. Now there are two ways to do this. The first way is to index into the dataset. So after the dataset name, we can specify in square brackets that we wish to obtain all the rows, that's the first entry, for which region is equal to EAP, or East Asia Pacific. Notice the double equal sign when we are checking for equality. We need an extra comma after this to indicate that we wish to keep all columns. Another way to achieve the same results is to split the dataset by region with the split command. This is fairly straightforward by specifying the dataset name and the variable region which you would like to split it by. This will create 6 new datasets, each corresponding to a different region. To work with a particular region at a time, like the East Asia Pacific region, we can specify with a $sign which region we would like to use. We will choose to use the first method in this tutorial, but I encourage you to try using the second method as well. Our first goal will be to produce summary statistics for the life expectancies of 2 different regions, East Asia Pacific and the Sub-Saharan Africa. So let's define 2 new variables, life EAP and life SSA, to indicate these 2 subsets. And for good measure, let's take a look at them again to make sure we got what we wanted. Now we can produce summary statistics for these 2 regions, of course remembering that the second column in these subsets of the dataset contain the actual life expectancies we're interested in. If we are interested in whether there is a difference in life expectancies between the East Asian Pacific region and the Sub-Saharan Africa region, we can produce side-by-side box plots. We will again graph these using the box plot command. We will specify that we wish to graph the life expectancies for the East Asian Pacific subset and for the Sub-Saharan Africa subset. We will set range as equal to 0 for an unmodified box plot, set the color of the borders of the box plots with the border argument and the rainbow command. And finally, we will set the names for the 2 box plots in the order that they were entered, and give the box plot a main title. If we wish to produce side-by-side box plots of life expectancies for all of the 6 different regions, we can do this with a much simpler command. The first argument in the box plot command will be life exp tilde region. This will indicate that we wish to split the life expectancies by the different levels of region. The splitting is done automatically. No need to create different subsets. Jeff also showed side-by-side box plots for the age difference in the skeletal remains dataset. He considered whether there was a relationship between sex and age differences, as well as mass category and age differences. Try to duplicate his results with the tools learned today.